Today we're taking a look at this really cool 60th anniversary Made in Mexico Strat. Stay tuned. So today we're looking at Strats. Yes, another really nice Strat here in my hands. This is a Made in Mexico 60th anniversary Strat. This is a beautiful guitar in red. There's just something about red Strats that just make me want to look at them forever in the light. They just reflect the light so beautifully. You can see just how nice these guitars really are. Everyone needs one or two or three or four red Strats in their life, and this is a great guitar because it's inexpensive, it's well made, and it's really fun to play. So today we're going to go into some detail about this, and I'm going to show you exactly what I like about this guitar. Now, one of the things I want to clarify right off the bat is the whole 60th anniversary thing. There's a lot of confusion about that, and I just want to clear the air because I don't want people to comment that I'm giving messed up information on my show and I don't know what I'm talking about. So Fender likes to confuse the consumer and back in 2006 they released a line of guitars, including this one, with a little 60th anniversary emblem in the back of the headstock right here, and I'll give you a close-up view of that so you can see it. That was really just to commemorate their anniversary, all right? And a lot of people refer to this guitar as the 60th anniversary edition, or mistakenly refer to it as the 60th anniversary commemorative Stratocaster, which it is not, okay? So let me just clarify that and explain why. So Fender, at the same time that they started putting these little emblems on their guitars in 2006, also released a limited edition 60th anniversary commemorative Strat. It was only released in one color, and that was a pearlescent silver, okay? And that one had some different features on it than these guitars. So that was the official 60th anniversary commemorative Stratocaster that they released. It was more expensive, limited edition, yada yada, while they put the little emblem on a lot of these guitars. And a lot of people mistakenly think that's what they have, but there's a big difference between them, and I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. So the 60th anniversary commemorative Strat in silver also had different features on it. It had different pickups. Those were Tex-Mex pickups, where this guitar has standard Made in Mexico pickups, nothing out of the ordinary. The commemorative one also had the special diamond plate on it with the micro tilt adjustment. This one doesn't. This one is just a straight ahead regular plate. There's nothing unusual or unique about this one. They also had staggered tuners on that model, where this model has standard, regular, run-of-the-mill Fender tuners. Okay, so already there's a couple of differences right off the bat on that one. So limited color, neck plate with the diamond inlay, different pickups, different tuners. Hopefully that clears the misconception about these models. So this is basically a regular Made in Mexico Stratocaster standard with the emblem, all right? That's the difference. Let's look at this guitar and start with the neck, because to me that's the money end of the guitar. The neck has to feel good and play well, otherwise obviously you're not gonna like the guitar. You're not going to bond with the guitar. This is a C-shaped neck with a 9.5 radius fretboard. 9.5 for me is a perfect radius. Some people don't bond well with the 7 and 7.25 radiuses. They find them a little bit too curved, and maybe they don't like the fact that you can sometimes fret out when you're bending the notes high up on the neck, which I tend to agree. 9.5 is very comfortable for most people. Most people find that it works really well for them. Of course, if you want to get into the flatter radiuses, you can, but for me, the 9.5 works well. It chords easy. It allows you to bend the notes without fretting out. It's a good compromise. So other than the radius on this guitar, the frets that they use are medium jumbo frets, and I like these frets a lot more than the vintage style thin frets. I just find that they last a little bit longer. They're easier to play in my opinion. They just feel better under the fingers. So I'm happy that they've included these type of frets on this board. The inlays, standard black inlays, nothing crazy or different there. The bone nut is synthetic bone, which basically means plastic, but it's a nice quality nut. It's curved nicely, it's cut nicely in my opinion, so no reason to have to upgrade that in my opinion. The slots are really nice and it's well done. We look at the tuners. The tuners here are standard tuners from Fender that they put on pretty much all of their guitars. Mexican stamped Fender in the back. I find that these tuners are good quality overall. They're pretty much indestructible. I don't see any reason to have to upgrade these tuners, unless of course you want to have a tuner that is locking for whatever reason, or if you want to have a staggered pitch. These are things that are sort of preference. In my opinion, you know, somebody buying a standard Mexican Strat doesn't really need to upgrade these elements of the guitar. But if you're picky and you want to make your guitar extra special, sure, go ahead and spend the money and upgrade. Easy to do. Beautiful thing about Fender guitars, you can pretty much upgrade whatever you wish and make it your own without having to necessarily spend a lot of money. So if we look at the headstock here, we're looking at a small rounded headstock with the logos that are typically found on the Mexicans. So this is the silver style logo, a little bit fatter, not the spaghetti logo that you would see on the vintage reissues. And it clearly says made in Mexico in the front here. As I said, there's the emblem in the back of the headstock. This is what a lot of people find confusing at times, but I think we clarified that. Skunk stripe at the back of it. Right along the back. What I also wanted to mention is that the tint on the neck is not like super white. It's actually a nice tint. It's not overly done and it's not too light in my opinion, so it really is nice. This neck is perhaps one of the most comfortable necks that I've tried on a Strat. I really like this shaped neck personally. I find it's not bulky, it's not too thin, it's just right. And it's a great feeling guitar. Now, the front side of this guitar is pretty much Strat all the way through. You have a standard pickguard, 3-ply. This is a parchment pickguard, 11 holes. So if you want to replace this pickguard, make sure you get another one that has 11 holes or it won't match. So one of the things I found out on this guitar is that Fender did decide to go with mismatched plastics for whatever reason. They decided that the pickups, the knobs, and the switch would be better to have white plastics as opposed to matching the pick guard that is parchment. In my opinion, I think it would have been nicer to have them in everything in parchment, but that's what Fender decided to do. No harm done. These are things that are personal preferences. You can easily buy the parchment plastics and swap them out. Very easy to do if you wish, but this is how the guitar was released. The pickups here are standard Mexican pickups. They're not Tex-Mex out of the box. Straight from the factory, that's what you get. A lot of people like the Mexican pickups. They're not bad in my opinion. I think they do an honorable job at reproducing that Strat sound. Can you get better pickups? Of course you can, but it's a question of money and what you want to spend and what your preferences are, but it's a good starting point till you figure all of that out for yourself. Now, the bridge on this guitar is a 6-saddle bridge, and I do prefer personally the feel and the playability on a 6-saddle bridge. I know Fender likes to release the 2-post style bridges in a lot of their more modern guitars. Personally, I like these bridges on my Strats. I'm not going to complain if they have the 2-post style bridges because those tend to actually work pretty well. They return to pitch nicely, they're smooth and whatnot. But just look-wise and just giving it that Fender kind of vintagey vibe, I prefer the 6-saddle version or flavor. One thing that I do have as a complaint, however, is that although the bridge is nice and it has really nice stamped bent metal saddles that do say Fender on them, the screws that they're using to adjust the heights on this bridge are way too long, in my opinion. So if you're looking at you know, dialing in the guitar setup so that you have relatively low action, they extend quite a bit. And to me, that's a little bit of a bother because I like to play down here and I tend to rest my palm close to the bridge and it becomes very scratchy. This is not the only guitar that had that issue. There was another Strat that I owned that had the same issue, and I just basically changed out those screws so that they're more comfortable, and now I don't even feel them, and it makes the guitar a lot more enjoyable to play. One of the other things that people might not realize about this guitar right off the bat when you're looking at it, because it's a little bit hidden in here, is the fact that the knobs are standard Strat style. So you have one volume knob and you have 2 tone knobs, nothing new to report there. There's no fancy switching or anything on this guitar. So the tone knobs will only be active when you have the switch in the neck position and the middle position. When you have the switch in the bridge position, you actually don't have any tone control. Okay, so I want to point that out because some of you I know like to live in this area. So the bridge position or the bridge and the middle position here, I know I do. And for me, not having that tone control in this particular position is a little bit of a missing element. I like to have that tone control. So typically what I would do on a guitar like this is just rewire it so that I do have that control when I'm in the bridge position. It's very important for me. It might not be important for you if you like to play in the neck or middle position most of the time, but I know a lot of you do like to live there. So the back of this guitar is pretty standard. There's nothing really different about it. You have the regular tummy tuck here. You have the standard neck plate. There's no micro tilt, as I said at the beginning of the video. There's no diamond inlay. That is reserved for the other model. You have a 1-ply plastic parchment colored panel here that you can remove, and if you do remove it, you'll see a thicker bridge post. It's actually thicker than the standard, which a lot of people think results in better tone, better sustain. One of the things I like to report here is that the neck pocket is extremely nicely done. There's no big gaps. Maybe we just got a good one here, I don't know. But I like to see very, very tight neck pockets in my guitars, and this one definitely has a super nice snug fit, which I believe will increase just the playability and the sustain on the guitar, because the resonance, you know, we want everything to be touching as much as we can. Okay guys, we're gonna take a look at this guitar. We're gonna play a few clean sounds and compare what we can hear on the pickup. So let's get started. Everything's fully open. This is in the neck position here. So let's just strum a few chords. Neck and middle. Let's move over to the middle. Middle and bridge. And finally, bridge. Way brighter than the neck pickup. The neck pickup seems very rounded, a lot darker, less, I guess, less clarity overall. And if we go in the neck and the middle position, as opposed to the bridge and the middle position. So you definitely hear the variations in tones. Obviously, if we bring it into the neck position, which is already kind of dark, and roll down the tone, you get kind of that underwater kind of flavor. But if we put it to about 5, sounds nice for chords. And if we bring it up all the way, the tone. So you have quite a variety of tones. Let's hear what it can do with some dirty overdriven tones. Okay, for this sound sample, I went a little bit crazy. I added a little bit of a reverb and some delay just to make it a little bit more dynamic. And let's see what that gives. Let's bring it in the neck position here. Sounds pretty nice to me. Bring it in the middle position. So don't hesitate to grab one of these if you find one on the used market. Even unplugged, the sound is loud, it's clear, it's you know, the note separation is super nice as well, and it really is easy to play. It's a great guitar. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked this episode of Addicted to Gear and the Strat that we reviewed today. If you have any comments regarding this particular guitar, any of the things that I covered here today, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. That's why I'm here. I love your comments, and I'll take the time out of my day to answer them as quickly as I can. Of course, if you like what we're showing here on Addicted to Gear, please subscribe to the channel. There'll be more guitars, gear, and other great things that we're going to be able to talk about in the upcoming shows. So stay tuned for those as well. Hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified. That's it for now, guys. Stay tuned. Keep rocking.